Good morning, students. Here I am presenting the lecture of class 12th. Class 12th is having the chapter 1, which is regarding the reproduction. As we all know that what is reproduction. So students, reproduction is a process by which every individual can have the ability to produce the offsprings of their own kind. So, in class 12, there are 4 chapters in the topic reproduction. So, here we are presenting the reproduction in the organisms. Besides this, there are 4 chapters: reproduction in organisms, reproduction in the flowering plants, reproduction in the human beings, and reproductive health. So, in the very first lecture, we will deal about the reproduction in organism. So reproduction in the organism, in this particular chapter, we will deal about the various aspects regarding the process of reproduction. This is the primary process of reproduction in which we can include all the terms and the terminologies that were used in the later chapters. So if you talk about the reproduction in the organism, just now I have told you that it is a phenomena or the process in which the organism is having the ability to give the offsprings of their own kind. So before going through this topic, first of all we will deal with the another topic that is known as the life span. So what is lifespan? The lifespan is the time period in which any individual can go through the process of reproduction and along with the various other aspects of their lives. So this lifespan is varying in the various organisms. So we will start with the various phases of this lifespan. So the phase in which an individual is not having the process of reproduction or not performing the process of reproduction is said to be the juvenile phase. This is known as the juvenile phase in which any individual is not able to reproduce. And then after the phase comes that is known as the reproductive phase. So this reproductive phase, as you know, is the phase in which any individual can able to reproduce or his or her organ become able to produce the ova or the sperm. So this is the reproductive phase in any individual. So first phase will be the juvenile phase in which any individual is not ready to reproduce. So this is the phase in which the person grow and can get up to the stage of the reproductive phase. Then after the last stage of the life will come, and then this is known as the phase of aging. Aging. In the human beings it is said to be the aging, and in the plant it is known as the senescence. So the falling of the leaves will be there and the other processes will be there in this particular age. So this process is aging and the senescence which takes place in the flowering plant. So these are the 3 phases of the lifespan in which an individual can live their life. So based upon the lifespan, so many organisms will be there. Now these organisms may include the organisms having the shortest lifespan, and this organism may be known as the mayfly. Mayfly is having only the lifespan of 24 hours or 1 day. Besides there, so many other organisms which are having the different lifespan. For example, the human beings are having the average lifespan of about 65 to 70 years. And the other individuals, for example, tortoise is having the lifespan of about 100 years. Similarly, so many other trees are having the lifespan of about 1000 years. Besides this, so many other organisms which are having the lifespan of 3 months, 4 months, or so many other lifespan will be there in the different organism. So in students, we have dealt with the three phases of the lifespan. The first one is the juvenile phase, in which the person is ready to grow in its body and it will become mature, or it will become sexually mature to enter in the stage of the reproductive phase. Here the person is start producing the ova and the sperm for the process of fertilization. The next stage after the reproduction will be the aging, in which any individual can lose the power of reproduction. So this is the phase that is taking place in the human beings, and that is known as the phase of aging, and in the plant it is known as the senescence phase. So every individual is having the different lifespan in order to live their life. After that, we will deal about the process of reproduction. We will deal about the process of reproduction. As we know that reproduction is the process in which every organism is having the ability to produce the offspring of its own kind. So students, in the process of reproduction, as you know, the reproduction is of two types. The reproduction is of two types. The first one is known as the asexual reproduction, in which only a single parent is involved in order to produce a new offspring. And the another phase will be the sexual reproduction, in which both the parents, either male parent or a female parent, both the parents, male and a female parents, both were involved in the process of reproduction. The first will be the asexual reproduction. It will be the asexual reproduction. So in the asexual reproduction, we are having the single parents, in which either a male parent or the female parent divides mitotically. So in this, mitotic division takes place, by which the gametes, either male gamete or the female gamete, they can go on dividing. So from 2 it will become 4 and so on. So in this phase only the mitotic division takes place, in which the individuals divide mitotically and form a new kind of the individual. For example, probably you have studied in class 11th about the process of binary fission that takes place in the amoeba. Have you heard this? Amoeba, binary fission, in which the body of the amoeba, first of all, the cytoplasmic content of the amoeba will be getting divided, and then after so this is known as the protoplasmic division, and after that the cytokinesis will be taking place. Cytokinesis means what? The division of the nucleus. So the division of cytoplasm is followed by the division of the nucleus in the case of the binary fission in the amoeba. Besides this, there are so many other processes of asexual reproduction. For example, the budding will be there. For example, yeast. So yeast is having the buds in them, and after getting the formation of the buds, during the coming of the favorable condition, these buds, they will break themselves. When they fall on the suitable ground or suitable condition, they will develop into a new individual. So this will be the another process of the asexual reproduction. So many other processes will also be there. For example, in the fungi, the process of spore formation will be there. In that case, probably you have seen the spores. formation of the spores. This will be the hyphae and the mycelium. This will be the sporangium. This is the sporangiophore will be there, and this will be the sporangium. So when the favorable conditions come, this sporangium, the wall will opens down and the spores will disseminate, forming the new individual. So these are the various processes of the asexual reproduction that we study later on in the next chapter. And then after comes the process of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. So in this particular process of sexual reproduction, as you know, that there are involvement of the two parents will be there. The first parent will be the male parent and the second will be the female parent. The male and the female, both the parents were involved in the process of asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. In this case, when the two parents, they produces the gamete. The first one is the male gamete, that is known as the sperm, and the second one is known as the female gamete, that is known as the ova. When this sperm and ova, they fuse together, they will form a new individual, and that individual is known as the zygote. And when there will be the process of maturation takes place in the zygote, then the formation of a new individual will takes place in the case of the human beings or any other sexually producing organisms. So in that case, what happens? Jo male and female gametes will be there and they will fuse together. When they are fusing together, they will fuse together with the process of meiosis. In this case, in the meiosis division, first of all, the gametes will be getting haploid, and when these two haploid gametes, they will fuse together, they will form a zygote, and later on this zygote will follow the process of mitotic division, in which the growth in the zygote will take place, and this zygote will develop later on into the new individual. So students, we will deal in this particular topic. We have dealt about the type of reproduction, the asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction, and later on we will study about the various other topics of the chapter. So students, for today you are having an assignment. First of all, you will make the notes on this particular topics. Reproduction, what is lifespan, what is juvenile phase, what is senescence, and what are the various phases of the lifespan, what happens during the reproductive phase. I will explain later on in detail. So students, make a note and write down the answers that I have asking. So the first question will be, what is reproduction? The next one will be what are the various stages of the lifespan? What is juvenile phase? What is reproductive phase? And what is senescence or the aging in the case of the plant or animals? So students, go through the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day. Please subscribe my channel and click the bell icon for the further notification. I will make so many videos on this particular chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.